Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. This is going to be the first installment of Mask and Chat, and so each time that I do this I'll just pick a different topic, subject, whatever, and we'll just sit here and have a little chat about it. But today, to kind of get us started, I'm going to do an anti-haul because there are quite a few new things that I am just not having. I'm just not having it. So I will tell you, today's mask is going to be the Garnier Skin Active Moisture Bomb for the normal to combination. It's a Super Hydrating Mattifying Mask. So, yes, that's what it's called. So I will leave my thoughts on this because this is my first time using it. I will leave them in the description down below because this will go up a few days after I have tried it, so I can give you a good idea of whether it broke me out or whatever, how I felt about it, yada, yada, yada. And it also covers up my bruises pretty good, but I am almost healed up, at least bruises-wise. My nose is still broken, but it's getting there. So let's dive right into this. I have my little list here that I've been writing down. First thing I want to talk about is Kat Von D has launched a lot of new products lately, or is, you know, in the process of doing it. And I said in my eyeshadow palette declutter that I was just kind of like, meh, I don't really love her products that much. They just don't work that well for me. So I wouldn't be partaking of any of her stuff probably anyway. But I was really intrigued by the Glimmer Shade and Light eye palette. But ultimately, I was just like, I can't do it, because I did not like her eyeshadow formulas before in the non-shade and light one. I was like, no. So we're not going to do that one. And also, I just keep messing with this. Also, the cream contour kit that she came out with, I'm sure it's probably great, but I'm just not a cream contour person. It's just not me. So that one is definitely not going to be added to my collection. And while I'm speaking about cream contour, can you guess what I'm going to say? I am not going to buy, I'm not going to buy the KKW cream contour and highlight sticks. Not having it. I like Kim just fine. It's cool that she's doing it or whatever, but cream contour, just not for me. And also the fact that everybody that bought those sticks talks about how tiny the little bullet is. Like, it's smaller than a lipstick bullet. Like, that's really not good. That's not good, especially for the price. So just no, not having it. No. Okay, and then while we're on the subject of the Kardashian family, Kylie's birthday stuff. What the heck? I don't know. To me, it looked a lot like the Valentine's collection. It was a lot of like kind of pinks and berries and stuff. And it was just like, girl, you've already done that. So, I mean, the eyeshadow palette with the two face things in it just did not speak to me at all whatsoever. And I like the colors, you know, like in general, but those together, it just looked kind of cheap to me. Honestly, the I want it all type of thing on the cover and just the whole look of that palette reminded me of something that you would get at Claire's. So, no, not having it. I thought that her vacation eyeshadow palette was kind of cute, but do I really need it? Do I want it? Do I want all those colors? No. So that one also was kind of like, meh. Honestly, a lot of the stuff that she puts out, I don't feel like I need. But of course I did purchase some of her things a few months ago to do a But Is It Good on. So I will be reviewing those. There are some surprises in there. So look out for that. It's going to be the next But Is It Good that I do. So maybe in a few weeks I'll have that one up. Moving on. I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes on this list. So I'm going to start next with the last non-palette thing, and then we'll get into the palettes because they're a lot. The Anastasia Beverly Hills matte lipsticks that they just came out with, I don't know, man. Like, it just doesn't speak to me. I'm not feeling like I have to have it. I feel like if I was just wanting like a matte lipstick, I would just get one from the drugstore, you know, because I feel like for the most part, a matte lipstick is a matte lipstick is a matte lipstick. It's not like a liquid lipstick where the formula is going to vary greatly from brand to brand to brand. If you do a matte lipstick well, it shouldn't really matter whether it's high end or low end. So I will probably just stick to the drugstore for those. But honestly, if I'm wearing a lipstick, it is usually a cream type of lipstick or a liquid lipstick. So keeping with the ABH theme, you guys know where I'm going with this? Subculture. Listen, before all of the drama came out about it, I took one look at the palette and said, those colors are not my colors. And if you saw my eyeshadow palette declutter, you would know that I just don't gravitate toward those tones. It is kind of similar to the Mario palette, but the Mario palette is literally the only one that I own that is anything like that. And I do enjoy that one. But there are some colors in there that I'm like, oh, I don't know if I would really use you. But the Subculture one, no, not going to do it. It just, I don't feel like it looks super flattering on my skin tone, my eye color, my hair color, all of that. I can see, however, how it is a pretty palette for the right person. But guys, all of that drama around it, that was just crazy. And, you know, the powderiness of it, the fact that some people hit pan on the first use. And I did not personally see the snaps, but I heard that ABH, their own corporate snap, did not handle the situation very well and kind of like came after people and stuff, and I don't agree with that. People have different experiences with different products. Just because you don't agree with it does not make them a liar, and it doesn't make you the only person with an honest view of it. You know what I mean? Like, something that works for me may not work for you, and I just wish that brands would respect that a little bit more, because you can love everything about a brand but not love one particular product. So that was kind of like, I'm not really for that, but I am still looking forward to seeing what they're going to come out with next. I'm just not really feeling those two new products though. Now, the rest of them on here, with the exception of the next one, are all high-end, but I do have one drugstore palette that I'm not feeling, and it is the Maybelline City Mini palettes, those little teeny tiny ones. Guys, online, I guess you can make the swatches look any way that you want, you know, and they can look really good. But in the store, seeing those and swatching them, and even just looking at it in the palette up close before you even swatch it, it's like glitter Fallout City. It is, no. Not having it, no way. It just is like, I feel like that's a disaster waiting to happen, and it almost looks like little kid makeup. I love the thought of a really small palette. That's right up my alley, but these, I don't feel like they really put a lot of effort into them, because the Milani palettes that are kind of small like that, they are so much better quality. So I feel like they really could have done better on that one. Next up, a YouTuber palette, the Jaclyn Hill palette with Morphe. First off, I'm not really a big Morphe person. That being said, I've never tried any of their stuff, but ordering from online companies like that, it kind of makes me nervous, because my credit card information has been compromised several times from ordering from various kind of unknown places. They do have it on HauteLook, and I have thought about buying stuff, but I never really like the selection that they offer on HauteLook. And of course, you hear good things, you hear bad things. I think if anything, I would be more likely to try their brushes. And when this palette first, when she announced it, and showed us the palette, I was like, oh, I don't need that. No way. And then as it got closer and people started getting like their PR samples, I started thinking, ooh, maybe I do need that. Maybe that's like the one Morphe thing that I do need. So I really was gonna buy it. And she talked so much about how they had more than enough product, more than enough, yada, yada, yada. And I'm not blaming this on her at all. Nobody's fault but the company, I think. But when I went to buy it, it was already sold out, and I was there within the first hour. So I was kind of like, wow, that's not great. And the thing was that on their website, at least on the mobile version, the banner was there to, you know, click on her thing, but whenever you clicked, nothing would happen. So I was pretty annoyed that I had to later then go to Instagram and find out, is it actually sold out? What's going on? Because I wish it would have at least taken me to the product page and said sold out. But instead it just says Jaclyn Hill palette is here, and then you click on it and nothing happens. And I'm really not here for companies that kind of play around with stuff like that. This is why I did not purchase from Kylie for the longest time, because I am not here to get involved in some sort of cyber version of a Black Friday running of the shoppers type of thing. That's just not, I'm not here for it. No, 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 no. Not doing it. And I know some people do not mind that, but that's just me. I mind it. I don't like it. I don't want to feel like I'm being, you know, hustled and rushed and, you know, oh, I got it, but then now I have to wait in a queue and damn it, now I didn't get it. You know, it's like, no, don't play with me like that. Don't do it. So after that, I was like, no, I'm washing my hands of this. I don't need the palette. I don't need to wait for it. I don't need to wait for the restock, because the companies do this on purpose. We all know it, because they want to create a hype. So this thing just keeps falling down. You know, they want to create the hype, and I'm just not here for that. Like, if you don't have enough to at least last an entire day, don't say that you have more than enough and more than enough. And then we all know that you're going to restock it like a week later. So no, thank you. Okay, now the next one is one that I initially also thought, I don't need that. I never would use it, yada, yada, yada. And then the more I looked at it, the more I said, maybe this is the one warm toned palette that I really need. So I was going to get it, and then the reviews started coming in. They weren't great. And I ultimately decided I don't need this, and it is the Naked Heat palette. I think it's beautiful in concept, but I think the execution of the shadows was really not that great. So I swatched it in store. I wasn't too impressed with it. And just seeing it in person made me realize that even though I'm saying to myself, you need it, I really did not need it. I would never use the majority of those colors. And I'm just not the type of person to force myself to use something that I don't like just because I have it or whatever. I'd rather just pass it on. So don't need that one. Next up is one that I saw on Trend Mood. It is not out yet. I think it's coming out in September, but it is the Too Faced Holiday White Chocolate Bar Palette. Those colors, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, it doesn't seem to have a cohesive look to me. I'm just not impressed. I think that they're not going to be that great of quality. That's just me assuming, but I don't know. I don't own any chocolate bars because I didn't like the color selection in the previous two, because I just felt like there was so many that were the same color. And now this one seems like there's so many that are like oddball colors. Nope, not having it. And then the last one is kind of a set of them. So the Sephora Pro Palettes that they just came out with, I think they have like 3, 4, 5, something like that. And they have like several shadows in them. Number one, that is way too many shadows for me. Let me tamp this down a little bit. That is way too many shadows for me. Again, with the eyeshadow palette declutter, I just cannot with all of those shadows, because I know myself and I know that I will not use them all. And I think it's just a waste to get something like that and then not use half of it, which is why I love little palettes so much, because I know that I will use pretty much every single color. And they're typically palettes where you can create like, okay, this is my go-to look with this palette, and always do that, you know? So I like knowing what I'm gonna do whenever I sit down with a palette, because I don't have time to sit there 90% of the time and say, oh, let me look at it for 30 minutes and then figure out. It would be great if I had the time for that, but I just don't. So no, I'm not getting any of the Sephora Pro palettes. I will show you though, because I did, I did get one new eyeshadow palette recently that I have not even had a chance to play with, but let me get it and I'll show you what that one was because I did end up buying that. But this is the one that I got recently, and it is the Tarte Sex Kitten eyeshadow palette. And this has been out for, you know, a while, but it's one of those that I stared at and stared at. And whenever it first came out, I said, I don't need that. And then after looking at it, I was like, I kind of need that. So this is what it looks like if you are not familiar with it. I just love that it's kind of neutral. I love that you have these two like deep matte colors, but that they aren't black. It's like a very dark navy and kind of a little bit of a purpley brown. So I just love that. And I know that I will use all of these colors. So I think that this is the palette that I will actually use whenever I do my next use it or lose it, which will hopefully be next week as soon as these bruises are gone. So yeah, might as well be eating this at this point. Oh, I did want to tell you, I am testing out some new drugstore liquid lipsticks for a this or that. I'm bringing that back. It's been a little while since I've done one, but I'm going to test out the Maybelline Lip Ink and the L'Oreal Matte Liquid Lipstick. So these are two of them, and I have two more. So I have two of each brand. So I'm going to be testing those out all week. I tested one out a couple days ago on Snapchat. So we'll be doing that, and then I'll do a full review on them and tell you which one you should get. So that is it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this new series thing. Hope that you enjoyed my anti-haul. Let me know down below things that you are not going to be buying. And I think that that's it. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.